Viking Red Zone special Week 3 Power Ranking Show. We are going to go over our Week 3 Power Rankings, and we're going to update on what the Week 2 was real quick before we do that. I am here this week with my co-host. I can't never get this right. Brad Rose. How you doing today, Brad?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How about you, Lance?
I'm doing great. I'm excellent right now. So we have a special guest with us today. So Nathan, again, he's out helping Trump some more, and we just can't pull him away from Trump. So we pulled a special guest in, Mr. Jimmy Schomburn. I believe you are actually from the legendary town of Trimble football. So we'll give you a chance to say where you're from, what your background is, and how you ended up, crazy enough to come to Vinton County. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm a 91 graduate of Trimble. My wife is a teacher at Vinton, so we actually live in the Albany area. She teaches preschool in the big city of MacArthur, and that's where our kids go to school. And I've been happy enough and lucky enough to be a part of that for about 9 or 10 years now.
Yeah, once you get to Vinton County, it's hard to get out of here once you're here, buddy. They get their claws on you, and you're kind of stuck. So that's kind of how it works. But you have, I know, at least one kid in the program, right? You have a freshman that's actually our quarterback. Do you have any other kids that are playing these sports right now?
My daughter is a fifth grader. She's coming up. She just got over a broken elbow, so we're waiting on that to mend. She does play basketball and volleyball, so
good.
So got that to look forward to. But yeah, my boy's a freshman. He shares time with I call him Bubba Brisker at the JV level. But yeah, so having a good time this year. Having a good time.
Good, and you got a few years of good football to look forward to. It looks like too. So I'm excited to see them freshmen moving up through there. There's a couple of really good kids in that group. So, but. Okay, we are going to move on. We'll go over real quick the Week 2 Power Rankings. I will announce the Week 3s. I'll reveal one each at a time, and we'll talk a little bit about each team, and we'll just move on up to it, and we'll call it a day. We'll get this wrapped up. So going over the Week 2 Power Rankings, River Valley was 7th place with 50 points. Alexander was 6th place with 62 points. Vinton County dropped to 5th place with 85 points. Nelsonville York was 4th place with 87 points. The Athens Bulldogs, 92 points, were 3rd place. The Wellston Golden Rockets were number 2 with 102 points. A little bit of a shocker to a lot of people we talked to. And the Megs Marauders held down the number 1 spot with 108 points. Now, Rose, real quick, just let me ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think will be the big mover this week? It's Week 3. We know the schedules, and we know what happened in Week 2. Megs beat River Valley. Wellston beat Nelsonville York. We beat the Athens Bulldogs. Wellston has the win over Nelsonville. I think Wellston beat Nelsonville, right? I'm sorry. So, who's the big mover this week?
I think the top 2 stay the same this week. I mean, they could flip-flop. But really, the big mover this week has to be Vinton County moving up and probably Athens moving down. A lot of people were surprised by that win and the Athens loss. Be a lot of people that are on upset alert this upcoming week with Athens and who they play. But, I mean, I think it's Vinton County and Athens both. One going up being Vinton County and one heading down being Athens.
All right, well, Jimmy, let me ask you. Now, last week, Megs had 4 first-place votes and was still number 1 in our power rankings. Wellston had 6 first-place votes and was number 2 in our power rankings. Now, who do you think will end up with the most first-place votes? Maybe not number 1. Who gets the most votes this week?
First-place votes? I'm going to say probably number 1 votes again, even though I still think it should be Megs.
Really? Okay. So, all right. Well, we're going to start the show out. We'll start from the bottom. We'll reveal our number 7, and we'll move up to the top, and we'll reveal it to see who's number 1 in Week 3. So, all right. That number 7, holding down the 7th spot for the 3rd straight week, are the River Valley Raiders, who actually have the same amount of points with 50, even after they kind of gave Megs a little bit of a game. I mean, Coulter Cleveland had 400,000 yards, I think, passing in the game. But they did score 2 touchdowns, and they were down inside the 10 3 times, so we know they kind of gave them a little bit of a game. Any shocker with River Valley being 7th place, or is?
No, we knew. Without a win, I don't think they're going to climb out of 7th place this season unless unless a couple of these teams, the wheels just fall off of them and do something we don't expect.
What do you think there, Jimmy? You think River Valley deserves to be 7?
Yeah, they're right now they're the number 7 team. There's no doubt about that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, pretty simple. Let's move on from that one. At number 6, and holding this spot down for the 3rd straight week also, are the Alexander Spartans, who actually went to play St. Mary's and got hammered by St. Mary's, by the way. I really don't think St. Mary's is any way that we can kind of judge these guys good or bad, to be honest with you. But they did drop in points. They went from 62 points last week to 61 points this week. So a little bit of favor they dropped by getting hammered by St. Mary's, but not much. That could be a toggle any way you look at it. But Alexander at 6 is Jimmy, is Alexander and River Valley going to be 6 and 7 this entire season?
Unless something drastically changes, yes. Like I said, I can't remember if them two play each other or not. But yeah, that's going to decide who ends up 6 and 7.
I think they do. So, Bradley, Alexander, they're going in to play Wellston this week. Do they have a shot? Are they even going to give Wellston a game?
I think they have a shot. I mean, any team steps on the field has a shot, but legitimately, no, they'll give them a game for the first quarter and a half, and then the plethora of athletes that Wellston has will start to pull away from Alexander. I mean, they just don't have enough people on the field to really contend with Wellston.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's move on to the number 5 spot. This is where it starts getting interesting. This is where the shakeups are going to happen. So last week, the number 5 spot was held down by Vinton County with 85 points, by the way. The week 3, number 5 team in our power ranking polls are the Nelsonville York Buckeyes, who lost a close game to the Wellston Golden Rockets. They have 79 points. Vinton County in the same slot last week had 85. Nelsonville York having 79 points and losing a close game to Wellston, but losing and having that least amount of points. What's that saying everybody thinks about Nelsonville right now? Go ahead, Jimmy.
Well, right now, Nelsonville for 2 straight weeks has had 2 close losses to a Trimble team that
2 juggernauts.
Young, but perennially a very powerful football team. And then Wellston, who is a little bit more seasoned team, but everybody expected them to be a little better than they have been this year. So two close losses to 2 pretty good teams, I think.
Yeah.
I think the problem for Nelsonville and the reason they fall to 5 probably, and see if I'm right here, Rose, I mean, you're 0-2, so you had to drop somewhere, right? Even though you played a powerhouse Trimble Tomcats and a Wellston team that we could pull 10 people in here, and 5 of them would say Wellston should be number 1, 5 would say Megs right now. So, I mean, is that really the problem for Nelsonville? You just don't have a win, right? You're just sitting at 5 because you don't have a win.
You don't. You got an offer right there. You've played 2 tough teams. We're really in that Wellston game until the last 3 or 4 minutes, and just had a couple of bad bounces, an interception, pick 6, whatever it was. So really, I think people were just looking at that final box score and assuming that, well, Nelsonville must be bad. They got beat by nearly 2 scores. And I think they're going to surprise some people. But right now, I think they're about where they need to be. You're over. You played 2 great teams, haven't scored a ton of points. You did late on Trimble due to some other circumstances there with players. They're probably where they need to be right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on to the number 4 seed. At the number 4 seed, having 80 points, beating Nelsonville out by 1 point, by the way. 80 points are the Athens Bulldogs, sliding down 1 spot to number 4, by the way. Tell me, Rose, how do you feel about Athens? Is this where they should have dropped? They didn't drop much. They kind of almost stayed at 3, but they dropped down to 4. So how you feel about Athens right now? Uh-oh, I think we might have lost Rose. There he is.
Here.
There he's back.
Sorry about a call come in and it was spam. So
that's okay. I'll top it off there. So good.
Okay. No, it's probably. I think Athens right now. I mean, they've got 1 win. They're 1-1. Nelsonville's 0-2. They're probably slotted about where they need to be. I think people were a little bit surprised. People outside of really studying the teams were a little surprised by the Vinton County win in Athens. It's been quite a while since that happened. And people probably took a few points from them and gave to Vinton County this week. So they're probably just about where they should be.
All right, let me ask you, Jimmy. You're a lot more familiar with the teams down around the Trimble, Athens and Meggs area anyway. They're playing Marietta right now, who was 0-2. I don't consider Marietta a garbage team. Has Athens got anything to worry about this week against their non-conference game?
Yeah, I mean, right now they need a win. They need a big win, and even though Marietta's 0-2 right now, I mean, it's a different team. It's a bigger school than they play in the TVC, and they definitely need a win. They need more to step up and get them a big win here.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, we're going to move on to the number 3. There are 3 teams left. It is Meggs, Wellston, and Vinton County left in the top 3. So here we go. At number 3 with 98 points. By the way, Athens last week at the number 3 spot had 92. So at number 3, the Vinton County Vikings rise up to the number 3 spot in the power rankings. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty awesome. Tell me something, Jimmy. Did you think that's where the Vikings were going to land in this week's power poll?
Yeah, really, I did with the win over Athens, first time in 25 years. With that win, and with some key losses, and with Meggs and Wellston still being undefeated, that's probably where we deserve to be. I said week 1 that was probably for the TVC championship. The week 1 game that we lost a close one there to Meggs, which hurt, but I'm gonna stick by my guns when I say that, and I mean, but yeah, we're where we're supposed to be right now.
Let me ask you this, Rose. Vinton County goes, okay, we got to go down to River Valley, play River Valley. They're the number 7 seed in our power rankings. You got Nelsonville playing the Meggs Marauders. I think that's a great matchup right now. I think that's a toss-up win. I think Nelsonville can go down there and upset the Meggs Marauders. What does Vinton County have to do? They have to literally blow out River Valley. What if River Valley gives us a game? Are we going to jump up if we don't hammer them? If we don't beat them as expected right now? I guess.
No, I think you need to beat them by 3 scores plus for people to have some confidence in you that you're legit. I think we can do that. Are we going to go down there and shut River Valley out? Probably not. They've got some talented young kids down there. I mean, this could be a real easy a 28-6 or a 12 ball game, which would be a reasonable score for us and for River Valley. And I think we'll stay right about where we are. The points could fluctuate a little bit unless there's some upset at the top that's unexpected. I think we'll stay next week at 3. And, the Meggs Nelsonville game will do a lot for the rankings this week. It could really stir things up.
Yeah, I think so too. So, as you noticed, no one has a first place vote yet, by the way. And this is the first time all the first place votes have went on 1 and 2 only. So, all right. Are you guys ready for the big reveal?
Let's do it.
All right, we're at our top 2 now. So, in the number 2 spot this week, in week 3, with 109 points, by the way, Wellston was there last week with 102. So, whoever hit this spot still has a lot of confidence in our voting group. At number 2 are the Wellston Golden Rockets with 8 first place votes, by the way. 8 first place votes. They finished with 109 points there. Second in the power rankings. Let me ask you something, Rose. Okay. The Wellston Golden Rockets are 2-0. The Meggs Marauders are 2-0. Meggs beat Vinton County, and I think what we would agree took a lot of luck and just the right situations for them to even do it. And then they go into River Valley, who's the number 7 seed. Wellston goes in and beats Nelsonville York, has a much better win record, at least a good quality win there beating Nelsonville York. And Wellston doesn't jump to number 1, but they have 8 first place votes. Is everybody looking ahead and foreshadowing that, okay, no matter what Wellston does, they haven't been able to beat Vinton County in 7 years? So we're just not that confident in them until that week 6 game. Is that what's going on with Wellston?
There's an outside chance a few pollsters are doing that. I don't know that that's the deal. I think people just want to see them walk through the rest of the schedule before they're sold on them being number 1. I mean, there's just too many questions. Meggs is high-flying offense. There's a few questions with the defense. People are right there. They're both 2-0. They don't play each other this season. It's crazy. We really aren't going to know what Wellston's got. We'll know something after the Fort Fry game. We'll see what kind of fight they put up against Fort Fry, but we're not going to know with them until they play week 6 in the TVC against Vinton County what they're really made of.
Let me ask you, Jimmy, does Wellston deserve to be number one right now? Even looking at all the records, what they've done, they're 2-0 versus Meggs is 2-0. Should Wellston be the number one team?
Well, I mean, really all you got to go on right now is if you say that they've both played River Valley so far.
They did.
Okay.
They both played River Valley.
Now, both games was pretty much over at half. Wellston's up 41-0 at half, and I think Meggs is up 30-some to 6 at half.
Yeah.
So I mean, pretty close. I mean, pretty close right there. So really, I mean, it doesn't surprise me either way. I think this week's going to say a lot for Meggs, whether or not they deserve to be where they're at with Nelsonville.
Okay, well, we all know who's number one right now. So this is the shocker, though. At number one, the Meggs Marauders with 4 first-place votes. Only they lost. They kept the same amount of votes, but the 2 votes that went to Athens and Nelsonville last week went to Wellston. So 4 first-place votes, and they have 112 points. The gap is narrowed. It is a 3-point lead for the Meggs Marauders. So it's super close right now. I personally, and this is my opinion, I had no problem with them hanging on to the number one because they've got to play the Nelsonville York Buckeyes this week, and that will be their test. That'll be, are the refs going to have to help you win one like they did week 1, or are you going to be able to earn the win this week? That's kind of the way I look at it with the Meggs Marauders right now. So this will be their true test, and I think if they beat Nelsonville, I don't think it matters what Wellston does. I still think Meggs holds on to that number one, but I don't know, Jimmy, what do you think? Do you think Meggs beats Nelsonville and holds on to that number one no matter what Wellston does?
I do. I think Meggs holds on. Colter Cleveland is I think the best quarterback in our league, and I mean he's a 3-year starter, and I mean he could put up 400 some yards against Nelsonville. I mean, because if you watched what Trimble did to Nelsonville, I mean, and Wellston threw all over Nelsonville. I mean, it could be a heyday unless Nelsonville is really prepared for that.
It is too. Now Nelsonville York Rose loses Brandon Phillips, I think, and now he got hurt. I don't know who's going to play or not, but I know he got hurt in the game and didn't finish the game against Wellston. So, which is huge, by the way. I mean, you probably don't throw them 2 interceptions if Brandon Phillips was on that field, by the way. But they don't have him. Do they have a shot at upsetting Meggs? I mean, I think I asked you this when it was Nelsonville, but without Brandon Phillips, give me a score prediction of the Meggs Nelsonville game.
I think this is going to be a shootout, Lugs. It really is. You got 2 defenses that are struggling just a little bit right now. The offenses are a lot further ahead. Nelsonville's really slinging the ball around this year. They're not super successful like Meggs is, but this is going to be a shootout. I'm thinking it's going to be a 48-38 style of game. It's going to be high flying, a lot of offense. I mean, if you want to have some popcorn and sit in the stands and see a high flying game, I think this is one you want to go see this week.
Yeah, no kidding. It's going to be a good game. It's definitely the best TVC matchup of the week, I think. So, all right, guys, this week, that's it, the week 3 matchups. Jimmy, any shockers you're taking out of this, man? Do you see anything that you're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that?
No, I mean, really, I thought that's probably the way that, I mean, I would have probably picked it myself. I mean, like I said, Wellston and Meggs could be 1-2. I mean, and we're never going to know until one of them loses a game this year. So,
yeah. Or like you said, we wish they played each other too. That would help, but
yeah,
they don't.
Yeah.
So, okay, Rose, let me ask you. Give me a prediction for week 4. Who is the top 3 teams in the week 4 power ranking polls?
I don't see.
Give me the order.
I was going to say I don't see it being anything outside of the 3 that are there currently. Now things jumble up. The only way I see something changing is if somehow Benton County loses to River Valley and we drop out. Otherwise, I think it's still us 3. And I'm going to say Meggs is still 1 because I think they'll prove themselves this week. Wellston will be 2, and Benton County will be 3 once again next week.
All right. Well, we're going to find that out. We'll know in just a few days. We'll know in a day, actually. This will be posted on a Thursday. So, all right, guys, that will wrap up the Power Ranking show for this week. Jimmy, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a problem, man. We want to get you on the podcast sometime, too, here, so we can sit here and talk football for hours, okay?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Awesome, man. Rose, thank you again, man. We got a rough road ahead of us, I think, but we're going to get through this thing, right? So,
well,
it's going to be a crazy 6-week run here, I think, so it's going to be. So, hopefully a little longer than that. But, okay. All right, guys, that's it for the Power Ranking show. We appreciate everybody for watching. For me, for Brad Rose, for Jimmy Sonborn, and Nathan, we'll see you soon, buddy. We'll see you guys next week on the Week 4 Power Ranking Show for the Viking Red Zone.